Learners in Learning Land, welcome. Today I'm going to show you 7 different techniques to write your own riff on the ukulele. We're also using this for the songwriting challenge that we're doing over in the Tenthumbs challenge group. I'll link that in the description if you want to join. It's just we do a different challenge once a month, and this month we are finishing our song. I broke my tripod in half just from using it, so we're having a little bit of trouble with some sound and some other things, a lot of technical issues on this one, so thank you for your patience with that. Because this one is in the challenge as well, this PDF is free for everybody, so if you want to check that out, hit the links below and grab that PDF, and if you like that, you can become a Patreon and score a PDF like that with every single lesson. That includes our previous one. All right, let's do it. Ukulele brain attention span, 7 different techniques to write your own riffs. Let's break it down.
All right, so today I'm going to teach you how to write a riff. Now, we're going to be writing these riffs in the key of C, and we've been doing a songwriting challenge. If you're not familiar with the group on Facebook, go ahead and check it out. I'll link it in the description. And it's just a group where we try to do a monthly challenge, push ourselves. It's a private community, and the whole idea is progress. Check it out if you want to learn and try to have something fun every single month. So we are doing this in the key of C, and the chord progression that I'm going to be writing around is going to be C, G, A minor, F. The classic 1, 5, 6, 4. 4 beats for each chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To build our riffs, we're going to be using the C major scale. So reviewing shape 1, including the G string. This will sound extra nice if you have a low G. It is 0, 2, 4, 0, 2, 0, 1, 3, 0, 2, 3. Shape 2 of the scale is 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5. And we're building everything except for the very last riff from those 2 scale shapes. So the first one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call connect the chord tones. And what I'm doing with this one is I'm basically playing a note, strumming the chord, and then using the scale to navigate from one chord tone or a note that's in the chord to another chord tone. So we start off, pluck the open C and strum down. After that, I'm going to play 3, 2, 0, 3, and then strum a G. So I use the scale to go from this C note to this G note. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2. Now I'm going from the G to the A minor, and you can use any notes that you want in the scale as long as you get from any notes here to any notes in this next chord. So I'm going to start on the 2, and I'm going to go 2, 0, 1, and then open E. It doesn't have to be the root note. So for example, we're going to the A chord, but it doesn't have to be the A note. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2. Then we are going to go from the A minor to the F. 3, 1, 0. Back to 1. Strum the F. Then back to C. Open 2, 0. So this riff. And again, you can start on any note that you want in the chord and go to any note that you want in the next chord, and you just connect them using the notes in the scale. For the next one, we're going to do a similar concept, but we're going to use double stops. So I'm going to play 2 notes in the scale at the same time. So we're going to start off, pinch the open 2 together, then the 2nd, 3rd fret, and then open, open, then a C chord, down, up, down. And so here with the double stops, experiment with what 2 notes in the scale sound good. You can try that. You can try with any notes, and they can be on any strings. A note on the C string and the A string. A note on the G string and the E string. A note on the C and the E string, which is what we're doing. We went 0, 2, 3, 0, 0, which are both in our C chord, followed with a down, up, down. Now we're going to do something similar, O, and then 2, 3, stay there, and then do the G, down, up, down. Now the A minor also has these 2 strings open, so it's going to be the same as the C. And then the only difference between those 2 notes in the middle there is the 1st fret here. So we're going to play them open. Then on the 2nd beat, open again. And on the and, hammer on that note there. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So this lick would be. Now, if that feels a little harder than the first one, keep in mind that all the notes in your chords are also going to be in this scale. So every note in the G chord is in our C scale. Every note in the A minor chord is in the C scale. Because these chords are actually built with notes from the scale. So you can experiment with that double stop one a little bit. That might take a little more time, but experiment with it and use your knowledge of chord tones, meaning notes that are both in the chord and the scale to help you. The next one is a call and response. Here we're not going to worry about the underlying chords so much. And what we do is we make a lick and a following lick. So we're going to just play any lick that we want with the scale, mess around until you get something that you like. And then what we're going to do, that finishes on the C. We're going to make another lick that finishes on the G. And so the next lick's going to go. Together they sound like this. And that's really nice. Now, the only notes there that you really need to be important are the last 2. So when you're experimenting with this idea, play 2 notes and see which of them sound good together, like a C and an E, or a G and a C, or a D and an F, for example, because the last notes are the 2 notes that are communicating. And once you know the last 2 notes, then you create the idea. So I know that I'm going to finish my first idea on a C and my second idea on a G. And because I know the 2 last notes, then I just build a lick accordingly. So I'll build a lick and I know it's going to finish there. So I'm just messing around until I get something I like that finishes here. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I know I'm going to finish on the G note now. And I use the same rhythm, 1 and 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 4, because that builds off itself nicely. What's cool with this one is once you get the first 2 measures, you just repeat that idea. And then you're into the song. So with that one, really think about the last note that you want to land on first. And to do that, play the notes in the scale and see which ones you like. That would work. That would be a little darker, but it still might work. That would work well. That would work pretty good too. That one, not so much. So again, you're kind of just playing one note and the other, and when you find 2 that you like, then you'll build your lick around that. That technique is called call and response. Now this next one's called 3 in 1. And this one, the only rule, well, there's 2 rules. You want it to finish on the root note. So we're in the key of C, we want the last note to be a C note. And then the other rule is we play one riff 3 times, and then we vary it on the 4th time. And this is actually really common in music. If you think of like even Metallica. It's the same thing 3 times and then different on the 4th time. That's very common. So you're essentially trying to look for 2 licks, but know you're going to play the first one 3 times in a row. So I came up with... And that's my first 3. 3rd fret of the E string, open A. 1st fret, open A. Open E string, 3rd fret. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 4, and I'll play it 3 times. Then the last one is something completely different, and remember, it has to finish on the C. I put these together and I get. And that one's what we call the 3-in-1. Play that lick 3 times, and then something totally different at the end. Remember to finish on a C note, or finish on the root note of the key you're in. The next one, the mini solo technique, is just that. You just basically play a 4-measure solo. I usually improvise ideas until I get something that I like, or I'll sit down and just hit record and play and play and play, and then hopefully get something I like. Sometimes, though, it's hard to remember it, how I played it, if I'm improvising. Came up with this one, and again, the rule here is you want to finish on the root note. Now, that rule isn't steadfast, it's not 100%, but essentially it's 99%. So we're going to stick to it like it is a strict rule, and I'm just going to play a solo, 4 measures, finish on the C. All right, so that one, you can learn that one verbatim if you want, or you can go ahead and just shred, improvise using those 2 shapes, and I'm just playing. The drone tone. You have 4 open strings, G, C, E, and A. And if you're lucky enough to have one of those be the root notes of your key, you can essentially play that note, play another note, play a note, play another note. Now I use the drone tone, but I also combine it with our 3-in-1. So I get 05, 03, 05, 03, 05, 03, 01, 00. And you can use that drone technique with 3-in-1, with call and response, with connecting the chords. We're in the key of C, so just hitting that C note and letting it ring out really sounds nice. All right, last one. What if you have a progression as a borrowed chord? Borrowed chords is something that we did earlier in this challenge, and they're notes that can come from different places. So if you don't know borrowed chords, they're really, really cool. Check it out. I'll hit it up here in the notes so you can check it out. They're a lot of fun to compose with. But I came up with this progression. And it has an E7 in it, which is our borrowed chord. So when you get to the E7, you're leaving the scale and you're just hitting arpeggio notes. So with the E7, my notes, I have G sharp, D, E, and B. And so over that chord, I'm going to leave the scale and hit just those notes. So I came up with this. And those are quarter notes, or those are 16ths. 1 E and a 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, Now, because that second chord is G, I'm also leaning back to that connecting the chord tone idea, and I'm emphasizing this G note, because my progression goes C, which I'm emphasizing, to the G, which I'm emphasizing. Then the next one for me is A minor, which I'm emphasizing with an E note, 305. And over A minor, a little trick, you can play that G note as a chord tone because it's A minor 7. And then G sharp, the note in the E7. This is definitely the most advanced concept, and just note that we're really highlighting the chord tones with these licks. Then when we get to that borrowed chord, we're leaving the scale and we're only playing the notes in that chord. And that is how you would approach it if you had borrowed chords. And there you go, folks. Those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different techniques to write an intro. So go ahead and use it with your progression that you're doing with the song challenge. And I can't wait to hear your intros. And keep on rocking and rolling. I just can't wait to hear what you come up with. Have fun with it.
All right, everybody, thanks for the patience. I know I look terrible in this camera, this lighting, the sound, everything. I'm doing my best to fix it, I promise. Thank you for learning with us. Keep on rocking and rolling. And I'll catch you in the free world next Wednesday or Saturday for ukulele, Monday for guitar. Have a lovely day.